Hey, thanks for joining us on the Eat Crunchy podcast. We are three sisters on a journey towards healthy lives using Weight Watchers to get there. We'd love to hear about your journey as well on our Facebook page or at eatcrunchy.com.
Hey everyone, Lisa here, and we are excited to have you back for another podcast. Today, we're going to talk about, exercise. So, this is funny. So, we had a request a few weeks ago for a podcast on exercise, and I read the request and I thought, we can't do that yet because I'm not actually exercising, and I feel like I need to try for a little bit so that I have something intelligent to say so that so the podcast doesn't totally bomb because I just have no comments about it. So I'm hosting mostly so that I can ask the questions and not have to answer the questions today because I'm hoping my sisters have more wisdom than I do. I personally am just not a physical person. I just don't love exercise. It's not one of those natural things. You hear these people that are like, they say they're outdoorsy and they want to go on hikes, and I'm indoorsy. I want to sit and watch a movie. I'm just not naturally that kind of person. So exercising for health for me is just, it's a chore every time I've tried it. So
I like that you said indoorsy as though that's a thing. I'm
thing.
outdoorsy. I'm indoorsy.
I feel like I heard you say that one time.
Yeah, I said that a couple
I'm
podcasts
couchy.
ago.
I'm couchy. I would sit and watch a movie to pretty much any other activity. Maybe read, probably sleep would be number one. Anyway, we don't need to go down this path. But exercise is like, you'd have to pay me a lot of money and then I'll do it. But I really struggle with it, although I know it's good for me. So help. Where are you guys with the whole exercise thing?
So I feel like I go in phases. Sometimes I'm really great about exercising and sometimes I'm not. I'll say that the first, 40 pounds with Weight Watchers, I didn't exercise really at all. I mean, I set a step limit, or not limit.
I will not go above.
I hit out 8,000. I better sit down.
Yes! That's brilliant! We
Holy
need to
cow.
implement that!
I almost hit 8,001.
Honey, I need you to get this for me. I can't do any more steps today.
Oh my gosh.
Anyway,
I think that's brilliant.
I set steps, but I didn't really truly exercise. Now, I have joined a gym mainly because my work reimburses me for it, and they have a lot of fun classes that I go to. They have this one that's like a hip hop dance class. I will, like you, Lisa, I don't really like exercising. I feel good after I've done it, but when I'm doing it, I don't like it. I feel like I look stupid. I don't like to sweat. As a general rule, I hate the feeling of sweat on my body. Mm-hmm. And I wear glasses, and so sometimes sweat is annoying for glasses. Now I have contacts, but you gotta put them in. It's a whole thing. So it's just like, the physical discomforts of exercise I feel every time, and so I have a hard time exercising too. But I have found that when I'm going to these classes, I do it. There's pressure to stay in the class the whole time.
Sure.
Because you don't want to be the only fat person walking out.
That's actually a really good idea. No, that's a good idea. I go to the treadmill and I'm off in 5 minutes.
Yeah, you're like, okay, I did a
There's
little
no
walk
pressure.
and I'm done.
Yeah.
But when you go to a class, even if you stand in the back, at least for me, I feel like embarrassed walking out. So I go to the class and I stay the whole class, even if it's hard, because I don't want to be the only one walking out.
That's a good idea.
And I have found that the classes, if you find the right classes, it makes the time go by a lot faster.
Well, and I've learned having the right instructor as well.
Right.
So I like Zumba, and there are a million different instructors for Zumba, but I've noticed at my gym, there's one or two instructors that I really like, and the same Zumba, but with different instructors, I don't like it as much. And so having the right class with the right instructor can make a difference.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good point too. Yeah, the walking out concept reminds me of one time Rebecca and I don't, what class were we going to? We were trying something new.
It was some dance class.
And we were like, well, if we don't, if it's really hard, because it looked like it was hard.
It looked like it was hard. For advanced people.
Yeah, it was for advanced, but we really wanted to try it. We were like, if it's really hard, we can walk out. So we walk in and there's nobody else.
It was us.
Class. It was just us. And so we had to stay.
So the instructor just worked with you guys the whole time?
And the two of us.
Well, so what's funny is that the first part of the class, she taught the way she normally would, until I think she realized that we weren't quite keeping up, and my leg wasn't going to go that high. And so then she started to modify things, and it went a little. But we were red, we were dripping sweat, we made it.
I feel like part of what I learned from that is, even if the description looks really hard, or it looks like something that I'm not normally comfortable with, but it looks like fun, do it anyway.
Yeah.
Because I'm still living, I'm still surviving. I didn't walk
And you
away
burned
feeling so
calories.
embarrassed. I burned a ton of calories,
Yeah.
I'm sure.
Well, and Heidi, after the class, she was like, let's get on a treadmill. And I was
so-
dying ugly. I was like, I'm not getting on a
energized
treadmill.
because after the workout, I felt energized, and I find this when I go to my classes too. After the class, I feel like, well, where's the pool? Let me go swimming. Let me go get on the treadmill because I feel so much energy afterwards that I'm like ready to continue.
Another lesson from that is there were two of you. Would either of you gone by yourself?
No,
Yeah.
I wouldn't have gone by myself. Oh, Rebecca would. I wouldn't have.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I kind of came to that. There's like dance classes I'll go to by myself, weight classes I'll go to by myself. I haven't been to a yoga class. I went to like 20 years ago. I went to a yoga class. I haven't been to one recently, and that's one that I'm struggling with just because
So I've had the same
You know.
struggle. I asked the
It's
lady.
yoga. It's yoga.
it's yoga and I'm not flexible, and I don't want to be doing things on the floor and then falling to my death, which will happen because I have no balance or strength. So
I asked the lady at the front of our gym, tell me about the yoga class. And this was months ago. And she's like, yeah, it's for all levels. Everybody can go. There's no judgment. Go ahead and go. And I still haven't been. I can't bring myself to do yoga. It seems like the other thing that's hard about classes is that, at least at my gym, it's like a big wall of mirrors on one side, and then on the other side is just a big clear glass so that everybody in the gym can see you and you're behind. But again, when I go to this hip hop class, I don't care. If they want to see my sexy butt doing a shaky thing, that's fine. Like, those people don't, like, it doesn't matter to me what they think.
That's awesome. Okay, so classes seem to be. I was interested that that's one of the first topics.
Classes are my, like, that's,
You guys like classes.
if I want to be motivated to exercise, I go to a class.
yeah.
Which I would never think of. But okay, Rebecca, what about you?
So I love to work out.
Oh,
I love to work
are
out.
we related?
I forget that when I'm not doing it regularly. And it takes a lot of energy. A Rebecca in motion stays in motion. Rebecca at rest doesn't move. Like, it takes a long time to get me there.
She has all these phrases where
I
she
know.
talks about herself in the third person. It's really funny. Go ahead.
But I exercise makes me feel healthy. I feel empowered. I make better food choices. I feel strong, and I like to feel strong and capable.
Yeah.
I love to work out. I love to sweat. I love to do all of that stuff.
You love to sweat?
I do. It makes me feel like I'm doing something. It makes me feel strong. I overheat quickly, but I still, and I die ugly. I mean, I'm miserable looking, but I really enjoy it.
I think there are two people in this world. The people who love to sweat and the people who don't.
So things that have helped me, in the past, I had specific goals. So I'd made a goal one year to do a 5K every month. And so that was one thing that was really motivating for me for a while, to do a lot of walking and jogging and stuff to be able to do that. And that, I felt like that was probably the healthiest in my life I've ever been, was during that time frame. And then recently there are a couple things that I've done. So, the Zumba class is one thing. I live next to this really pretty canal, I guess. It has a walking trail along it. And so I downloaded a Couch to 5K app because I'd like to do another 5K. I just need to figure out when I want to do that. But, so I've started doing that. And so, you walk for a minute and then jog for a minute and walk for a minute. I mean, they say run, but I'm like walking quickly. So that's something that's really helpful for me. So I've enjoyed that part of things. But I will say another thing that I just discovered a couple of years ago that makes a big difference for me is having cute workout clothing. So I used to work out in like just old t-shirts and shorts or sweatpants or things that I had. And Lisa gave me a gift certificate once to Avenue or something. And I used it to buy cute workout clothes. And I was so excited to put on my cute workout clothes. And so I would put on my cute workout clothes because they were adorable. And then I'm like, well, I'm in my workout clothes. I need to work out. And so it kind of helped to propel the desire to work out. So I went and got a cute workout shirt that I am wearing now. And I went walking and I was feeling so strong and cute in my little outfit. And anyway, I feel like that helps too.
So while you were talking, I was thinking about too, and I think people like me who have a lot of weight to lose might have these problems. And so just, the honesty we try to have on these podcasts, one of the things that's a struggle, it's actually a few things, is my body does not do the stuff that it used to do. I mean, back in my 20s, I was thinking about this and I actually like giggled. I used to like go jog, like, you know, do the jog half the time, walk half the time. I mean, I would jog like a mile or 2 miles around this park when I lived up in Utah. And I bought a bicycle and would ride around, and I had a friend that would come over in the morning when I lived up there, and we would like work out in the mornings. Like I was a lot more active. What's happened is as I've gained weight, I have a number of things physically that have made moving around difficult. I have plantar fasciitis and heel spur. So you wear particular shoes that make the pain not so bad, but you still can't walk as much as you used to, and you can't jog as much as you used to. Also, being overweight just makes everything sort of hurt more with your feet.
Yeah.
The other thing is I have a bad back, so it's better than it was when I was at my highest weight, but if I'm up even just standing for longer than, say, 15 minutes or 20 minutes and sometimes less, my back will start to hurt, and then the more time I'm up, the more it hurts. And so now it was worse at my highest weight, and I feel like now I'm sort of, I have less of an excuse now that I have less back pain than I used to. But I do think that you get to the point where your body just, it kind of feels like it's, you know, when you have these sort of co-issues besides just being overweight, it feels like your body just, it's screaming at you to like go sit down all the time. And it's difficult to sort of make yourself you have to be very creative, right? You got to find ways to exercise even when your body kind of feels like it's broken.
So I think this is where I was a couple weeks ago when I decided I needed to start exercising again, is I feel like I don't have a lot of time in my schedule. I don't have places where I can kind of set aside half an hour or an hour to work out. I'm exhausted because I get up early and I go to bed late, and with that comes, you know, body aches and pains and things like that. And so at work, there's lots of stairs everywhere I go. And so I thought, I'll start taking stairs. That will be my solution. I'll start taking stairs at work. Well, that's a lot of stairs, and I'm not in good enough shape to take stairs all day long. I'm just not. I took a couple flights of stairs at work and thought, no, this is not going to work for me. And so then I had to think, okay, what's an alternative? What can I do instead? And that's when I discovered the ramps. So I work I park in a parking garage at work, and so I started parking on like the second or third floor, which is where there's a place to park, and the Sky Bridge is on the 8th floor. And so I can't take the stairs up all that way, or I would just die, but I walk the ramps up so that I'm still getting in extra steps and it's pushing my body. And so then I would walk the ramps up, and then there are a couple Sky Bridges I have to take to get actually to where I work. And then I was doing that consistently, and I started feeling stronger, and I wasn't out of breath as much. And then it dawned on me there was another parking garage that connects to one of the Sky Bridges that I could walk down the ramps to connect to a different Sky Bridge. And so I started finding all these extra places to get extra steps. And so now I have 2 parking garages that I do ramps in.
This is very specific. This is very specific.
It is very specific to my work. But I think that what I learned from this is if you can find space to do extra work, do the extra work. Even if you can't do the stairs, walk up the escalator. Even if you can't.
And so many people say, well, just take the stairs at work, rather than feeling like, well, I can't even do that. I'm just going to take the elevator.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Which is what I probably would have said to myself.
Well, and so I started jogging in the elevator. I put a video about this the other day. If you jog when the elevator is going down, you feel very lightweight. It is the opposite of that if you jog while the elevator is going up. But like finding little snippets of time that you can do something, move more at all in. And then it starts to perpetuate, like your body feels better, and so then it wants to move more. And
well, and I think this is an important topic for, you know, anybody who does have a lot of weight to lose, because, you know, even just, I mean, 50, 60 pounds ago, I mean, you know, the idea of walking across the street was difficult. You know, there are times when you weigh a lot, and it can just be difficult to do things, and to try to have the mindset of like, I'm going to do it anyway, or I'm going to find ways. You know, for me, swimming is a good thing. Mm-hmm. So I'm really happy in the summertime and not as happy when it's not summer. Because
you did a lot of swimming this summer.
Yeah, swimming doesn't feel like exercise
you don't have to
to
sweat.
Me. that works for you too.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's a low impact thing, and I think it's an important thing to talk about, because I think when you have a lot of weight to lose, you know, I had a trainer one time, I actually tried to have a few trainers, nice people, but they've never been at the weight that I was at. And so they would try to, well, just keep going. Well, it's all in your head, and you're like, no, it's in my body. And so I think this is one of those just really important topics that I've tried to work through of just, my body is not what it used to be. It's also not as young as it used to be, and that's not changing. That's going the wrong way with the age thing. So I need to come to terms with the fact that my body is still capable of more than I sometimes give it credit for.
Right.
Which is where I think it can be helpful to have a trainer. I know, so my year of 5Ks, what brought that to an end was I got into a car accident. And then that kind of messed me up for a little bit. And then I realized it was a long time that I wasn't moving as much because it caused pain. But there's like the pain you're supposed to work through and the pain you're not supposed to work through. And I didn't know the difference. I just knew that I was in pain. And I ended up going to physical therapy, and that was so helpful because the therapist helped me to figure out, like, no, this is not okay pain. We need to stop and we need to adjust. And yep, this is going to hurt really bad. You need to do it anyway. And so sometimes getting an outside expert, like a trainer or a physical therapist or somebody that can help you work through if it's an injury versus, exercise-related stuff.
But definitely get somebody who's worked with somebody in your situation.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's what I'm trying to say is my problem was they hadn't.
Yeah.
They thought it was all just, grit. And
I think that there's something to be said, though, about when you were mentioning your back pain, I'm thinking about certain pains that I've been in before where I felt like I couldn't exercise, and I went to a chiropractor. And I know that people don't often think terribly highly of chiropractors. Depends on who you talk to. I'm a crunchy gal. I love my chiropractor. They're amazing. And so when you say your back hurts, the first thing I'm thinking is, oh my gosh, we've got to get you to the chiropractor because it'll take away all your back pain.
You've said that before. I need to go.
Yeah, you do. But there's something to be said for taking care of your body. So if you're in pain, if you have some kind of ailment, like Lisa, you mentioned your feet, you find the right shoes that will accommodate that. You don't just keep wearing flip-flops and say, well, my feet hurt. Oh, well, I can't do that.
Yeah.
You find a shoe that makes it feel better. If your back hurts, you go to a chiropractor. If you have some kind of ailment, you go to the doctor and you try to find ways to resolve it. And that's what I'm feeling like I'm taking from this is, I can't just let that be my reason. Because what's the alternative?
Well, but some things are chronic, and when you're overweight, it's not as quick. So you're right on the things that can be quote unquote fixed or improved. You should do those things. I guess the point I'm trying to make is sometimes you have to live in the world of a body that's not quite capable of everything that you want to do, and then the concept of like small changes that strengthen your body and like mentally being okay with that. Like it can be hard to have your body fail when your mind is excited. And then over time, your mind starts to say, well, I'm not capable. And then as I've lost weight through better eating, not through exercise, as I've lost weight and my body is more capable, my mind is still in the mindset of before. My mind is like, oh, I can't do that. And really, I can.
So you have to adjust a little bit.
You have to adjust your mindset to the fact that, you are capable. And so there's a combination of like caring for yourself and dealing with things and stuff like that. And then also kind of, pushing yourself and realizing you're stronger than you think you are.
I feel like this comes in with some of the negative, positive self-talk we've talked about in the past.
Yeah.
Which is like, to change your mindset, you need to talk to yourself and I am strong. I am capable of doing this.
Yeah.
Maybe I can't do it for 20 minutes. I can do it for 5.
So one of the things that helps me to be motivated is watching other people be motivated. So like American Ninja Warrior.
Ninja Warrior.
That's one of the things. So like I watch that, I'm like, they're amazing. And so I get motivated when I watch that. But so Jessie Graff is one of the female Ninja Warriors who had been like the first woman to be able to reach a lot of different
Is she
places.
the one that wears the super outfit?
Yeah,
it's like super
I really like her. So she talked about, so she had been competing, and then I think she had a torn ACL, and she had to have surgery on her leg, so she couldn't run, she couldn't work out. She's a stunt woman, and she does this, and she couldn't do anything with the bottom half while she healed. And so I was watching a YouTube video, and so she focused on her upper body. So she was doing pull-ups and push-ups and all these sorts of things with her upper body, grip strength and things like that to train that part of her. And then her overall like Ninja Warrior performance became really amazing because she developed these skills. But I feel like there's something to be said for what you're talking about as well, that if your feet are not working with you, there's a lot you can do with other parts of your body, or like you mentioned, the pool, or I think there are a lot of really great examples that we have in our lives of people who don't have the physical capacity to do what their brain wants them to be able to do. And yet there are ways that they can work through that, you know, depending on where you are and what you're doing. And so do something. I think that's part of it. If you can't do everything, that's okay. And when you're like me and you have a lot to lose, that means you're going to go through periods of time that you're motivated, and you're going to go through periods of time that you're not. And that's okay. That's going to be part of the process. But do what you can do, and be kind to yourself about it. Like, I'm doing something to make my body stronger. I'm really proud of myself, rather than, I can't believe this is all I can do. I'm being such a weenie, you know.
Yeah. Right. No, I think that's really good advice. And I think that's, I think these are I'm feeling motivated now more than I was before. I was thinking back, Rebecca, you and I used to have a membership to Lifetime Fitness.
The best gym ever.
The best gym ever.
The best spa, gym.
It's so expensive. And in fact, they added a wing, and I'm like, we funded that wing.
I know.
Even though we didn't, for the times that we didn't even use the gym anyway, it's very, very expensive, but it's like the best gym ever. But I was remembering how funny it was, because they have this little cafe, and they had these wonderful smoothies, and then I would go there to get my hair done in their hair salon, and then they had these lovely leather couches and television, and sometimes you can spend a whole day there and not even work out.
It smells like eucalyptus when you walk in. It doesn't smell like a gym.
And I was thinking, I'm going to get that gym membership back, and I thought, I just want to visit the facility. I'm not even sure that I'm going to use the equipment. Maybe. Yeah,
but I love what I'm glad that you brought that up, though, because I think from a motivating perspective, at that time in our lives, that was something that was motivating. Is it felt like, not only can I work out here, but it's a place that I can be taken care of.
Very much a safe place. And we would go and I would go there and spend hours. And I did work out. I would work out, but then I would go enjoy the other parts of the gym, quote unquote, the spa. It was lovely. But that's also expensive, and I don't pay that. I'm not spending that kind of money now on a gym, and I don't think most people can afford Lifetime Fitness, but I do think, wherever we are, I sort of like the idea of having a space or something. Like Heidi, you like classes. Somebody else might like putting something in their house, like a room that has exercise or whatever makes you sort of feel, quote unquote, safer, more comfortable. I don't know why I had to use quotes. Whatever makes you feel safer or more comfortable or more likely to work out. I guess I'm feeling like that's something I need to work on.
And I don't think it even has to be a workout. Like I have found that my children are incredibly motivating. Yeah. Because often they want to go do something. They want to go fishing, or they want to go hiking, or they want to go to the Lego store. And the first thing that I always think is, well, how long of a walk is that? And I've been known to, like, they want to go to the zoo, and I'll, like, pull up the map and be like, well, how long of a walk do I have to do if I go all the way around? And rather than thinking about it in that terms, I don't want to deprive my children of these experiences, and so I just do it. And if I get tired, that's okay. Like, I'm still going to be living at the end of it. Mm-hmm. And thinking of it more as, like, the experience as opposed to, I'm going to go work out today. That's really what I'm doing.
So, a funny thing. So, I took one of Heidi's kiddos on a field trip this last week, and one of my goals that kind of developed for myself with exercise, because I knew I wouldn't be getting my 10,000 steps through a workout, so I needed to find a way. As I decided I wanted to move as much as he moved. And so, like, when we were like...
This kid is like a future Olympian.
I know, he really is. So, like, we get out of the car, and he, like, runs up to the front of the building and then starts dancing. So I get out of the car, and I run up to the front of the building, and I dance as long as he's dancing. And then when he's done dancing, we move forward. Like, we go to the place, and there are escalators, and he's, like, walking up the escalators and then jumping down a couple and walking up. So I'm walking up and then jumping down. And so I got really tired really fast, I'll say. But I think that, to your point, that was one way that I was able to get in a workout.
And he sees it as just,
we're having fun
hanging out,
together.
we're having fun, and not like...
He has no idea that I'm like, will you just stop moving for a second? Can you not jump on that block right now? Because then I'm going to have to jump on that block.
That's actually a really interesting motivating concept, like, because he moves all the time.
Yeah.
I will say there was a movie theater that we were in the museum, and he went, and it had like 6 different rows of seat, and he ran up and down those 3 or 4 times. I just did it once. We're done. Again, it's the stair
other
stuff.
Adults were wondering what was going on.
It was after they'd left. Anyway, but I do think that there are a lot of ways to be able to move more, and I appreciate that about Weight Watchers, is they don't say you have to carve out 45 minutes for a workout. They say just move more.
Yeah.
Find a way to move more. And if your feet can't move more, move your arms more. If your arms can't move more, move your waist more. There's something you can move more.
Yeah.
I was going to ask you too. You guys both participated in, what was it called? The little contest that you did?
Step bet.
Step bet. And you both, to your credit, I've never seen you walk so much. And you guys were like walking, and Rebecca,
I think we earned like $6.
Walking around the living room, walking outside. I mean, you were working out more than I'd ever seen. So talk about that, because some people might benefit from something like that.
Well, I'm a competitive person. I'm extremely competitive. I hate to lose. I don't
No,
know where my
really?
kid gets it. And so we did the step bet, and so I didn't want to lose to the other people. To do the step bet, you put in a little bit of money, and you get it back, plus the dividings of what other people who have dropped out.
So
all
this
the
is
other
an app.
losers.
It's an app.
It's an app, yeah.
Okay.
So
And there's a
anyway,
lot of apps like it.
Yeah, there's lots of apps. It's just the one that we happened to choose. And so I'm really competitive, and I don't like to lose money because I don't have that much of it. So I like to keep the money that I have.
Right.
And so that was motivating, just having money on the line. But also, it's less it's less competitive against people I don't know, because I don't know that I care too much about them. I really cared that I did it with Rebecca because I was not going to be the first one to drop out. And so we did do it together, and I felt like it was very motivating.
I'm competitive, but I think the thing that kept me in the step bet was not the competition, but was the loyalty. Because I knew if I dropped out, Heidi would
She
drop
would feel
out.
guilty.
Yeah. So the thing that kept me in it was this is really important to Heidi. She wanted to move more, and I want to help support her in that. So for the flippin' love, I will walk these stupid steps and curse her name while I'm doing it, but because I know that it's important to her and I want to support her with that.
So that's almost like find the thing that's motivating for you.
Yeah.
If it's loyalty and guilt,
Yeah.
Right.
or if it's
Competition.
competition.
I'm really part
Yeah.
Jewish, I think. The guilt.
No, I mean, I think that's what was so interesting, was that was such a unique thing to do.
Mm-hmm.
So I like that idea. So I thought about that. So
I'm sitting here thinking, as we've been talking about this, like, how many things we've tried.
Yeah.
How many things that we've tried to be healthy and to do things. And I think, as you get older in life, there are lots of things that you try, and you kind of build up your database of what is helpful for you and what's not helpful for you. And so I'm thinking, to those of you that are listening to the podcast, I'm wondering what's in your database. What are the things that you've tried that have been helpful for you? What are the things you've tried that weren't so helpful? And you can kind of take those out. My guess is that you would find something there that would be beneficial that you could do to move more.
I want to hear from people who are indoorsy people like me, not outdoorsy
to move
people.
more.
How do you motivate yourself to exercise if you just, the concept of exercise, just it's like nails on a chalkboard, and I just don't want to do it.
Well, I think you have to first stop calling it exercise.
Yeah.
I'm moving more.
Okay.
So Lisa and
you
I
can
had
rename it all you want. My body just wants to be sitting,
Lisa and I went on
sleeping,
a walk /
preferably.
hike once 15 years ago in Utah, and it was up this canyon, and we ended up kind of at the base. We had to climb up these rocks and things to get back up to where we needed to go, and it had been raining, and we are covered in mud, and we're like having to scale these walls to get up to the top to this walk place. And I was having the time of my life. I was ear to ear cheesing. I loved getting covered in mud. I enjoyed it so much. And I look over at Lisa, and she's like, "You're going to have to go get a rescue crew. I can't make it." Like, practically tears, not quite tears, but I think
I got stuck on next to a ravine on the side of the foothills of the mountain, if you recall. And I was like a spider. I was like hands on both. I can't describe it. I was like stuck to the side of this wall of land, and if I let go of my grip, I was gonna fall into this river.
And so,
Do you remember that?
I do. I don't think that it was a ravine, a river, or mountain. I think that might be a bit of exaggeration.
Well-
But conceptually, yes, that's what it was.
It's what I
That's
remember.
how she felt.
That's how I
It is how you felt, but I think that, again, going back to what works for you. For me, I was energized by that. I was excited by like the mental challenge of how do I scale this mountain? I'm doing air quotes. How do I scale this area to get there?
It was the foothills of a mountain.
It was the foothills of a mountain, and for you, that was not fun at all.
I
You
had
know.
a friend one time. I had a friend. There was a church activity where the activity was to hike up, and there was this particular view over the valley. And so we had just met, and we were kind of hiking up, and we get up to the top, and she's like, we could have just taken a helicopter or looked at a postcard. And I realized I realized we were soulmates because I had those thoughts, but I hadn't had the guts to say it. I'm like, I'm trying to go to church activities. I want to have these friends, and I hated the hiking part of it. And yes, it's pretty, blah blah blah. It's also pretty in a plane. It's also pretty in a picture. I just don't have that same sort of I have to do it physically myself that a lot of people seem to have. So. Okay, I'm just gonna thank you, Rebecca. Let's bring it back to the positive. Back to the positive. I was hanging on the side of a mountain and I almost died. Okay, that's what happened in that event. Okay, well, anyway, so I think that's our podcast about exercise. So, I'm very interested in some thoughts, especially if you struggle like I do. Thank you so much for listening. Please join us on eatcrunchy.com. We also have a YouTube site we'd like to invite you to.
Oh, we do. We have a YouTube page. You can just YouTube Eat Crunchy and you'll find us.
It's better if you do Eat Crunchy podcast because there's a lot of other Eat Crunchy random things.
Eat Crunchy podcast is the one to search for.
And what's our email?
eatcrunchyblog@gmail.com.
One of these times the rest of us should memorize that so that Abby doesn't have to say it every week.
And I've recently got on Instagram, so if you want to see additional stuff on Instagram, you can join me there at Eat Crunchy.
We're doing everything we can to keep ourselves motivated,
I
guys.
know, that's what we're down to.
If we tell the world about it, we'll stay motivated.
That's again, one of the things that's helping me with exercise right now is we had a request on exercise and I thought, man, I got to do something so I have something to say. So thank you guys for your motivation. If you have additional requests, things that we can do to help us be healthier, we'll give it a try to let you know how it works.
See ya.